Page 16, Whirling Leaves. The top of the page, they're talking about the ledger notes between the steps. You see, you have the treble and the bass clefs and the notes, and there's an overlap because you can represent the notes in either staff or either clef with the other clef. And that's what they're kind of showing you there at the beginning. Middle C's and a ledger line between them. And you represent a middle C on either staff. In the bass clef, it's a ledger line above it, and the treble clef, it's a ledger line below it. It's the same note. Well, then look at the next one. It's a D. Well, in treble clef, the D is right below the bottom line. It doesn't need a ledger line. But in bass clef, it's above middle C, so it's got to be above that ledger line, because middle C's on the ledger line, so D's on the next one. And then the E is next one, so that's two ledger lines above bass clef here. But it's the bottom line, or we could go the other way. I could represent notes going down, these notes, in the treble clef by using ledger lines, if there's an overlap. Sometimes, just the way the music is written, you need them. And I'm guessing we get them in here, in this piece. So let's look at this piece. What is it? Well, what key are we in? So you're saying, well, they don't give you key signatures. How do you know what key you're in? Well, of course, you can kind of hear every key hears a little different. But if I look at the end, that doesn't help me any, because that's just a mess, what that is. But overall, the feel is I'm in A major. Well, if that's true, then I expect all the C's throughout the piece to be C sharps, because A major has a C sharp. And A major has three sharps. C sharp and F sharp. Are there any Fs? If there are, I expect them to be F sharps. I don't see any Fs in here. And a G sharp. So I expect G sharps. If there's any Gs, I would expect them to be G sharps. I don't see any. The only sharp we got to deal with is C sharp. But it is in the key of A. A major. Now, let's look it over. It's both pages, treble and bass clef. We're in the key of A major. We've already established that. And it's 4/4 time. Eighth notes and quarter notes, okay. I want to take it one hand at a time, because the hands are doing different things. So the right hand, it doesn't come in until measure 3, and they want, well, you're in the A pentatonic scale. That's what you need. You don't need any of these finger numbers. Just please don't be reading finger numbers. I've seen some teachers, when they publish music, they put finger numbers on every single note. I just want to take them and spank them. No. You need a finger number to tell you where to put the hand, maybe, and that's it. Leave it alone. So read the notes. You're here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and rest, and you do that some more. Let's go to measure 7. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and isn't this fun? And that's about it. So you're down in the bottom. Measure 13. You have here 1 and 2, and then you have the same notes, but it has an 8 VA above it. That means go up an octave. So you just lift up and come up here, same note. And then next one, well, they're printed here, but it has a 15 MA. That means you go up 2 octaves, because 8 and 8 is 15 in music. Did you know that? Yeah. So you go up 2 octaves from where it's written, so that's up here. Finish it up here. If you have a short keyboard, you don't have them, you just play the highest notes you have, the A, E, yeah, whatever, that's fine. Left hand at the beginning, well, we're in A position here, and there's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and this is fun, you're just doing this a lot. Go to measure 7, there you're going to switch it, go down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Well, this is fun. The last line at the bottom you have here, then you have rests until the very end, and it's an A and an E. And the left hand does not move. Those 8A and 15 MA, they only apply to the staff they're next to. If they want both hands, they have to put in a note, both hands. Or they got to do that symbol in both staffs. So left hand stays where it's at. So put the hands together. Well, the first line is left hand, so let's go to measure 3. You're here, 1 and 2 and... Never mind what it sounds like, just go with it. Again, 1, 2, and 5, 1, and then here, and then measure 7. This looks weird and hard, but it isn't. You're just mirroring the hands. That's actually easy. You're using the same fingers. Here, so you're using the same fingers. And then measure 9, you're back to. That's all you're doing. So the hardest part in it actually turns out to be easy, because the way the brain works, it wants to mirror them anyway. So when you get a piece or section like this where they are mirroring each other using the same fingers at the same time, you can get to where you can just focus on one hand, let the other hand just follow along, just use the same fingers. It just happens naturally. It's wonderful. It's when they're going the same direction that's its problem. If I went the same direction, that's harder because you're using different fingers at the same time. Now, you work out the notes and the rhythms, and at this point I'm still connecting everything. But then I can add the articulation. These are slurs, they're not phrases. But it gives the illusion of back and forth, you know, and that's kind of what Whirling Leaves or In the Wind is going to do, I guess, back and forth. Here in the right hand, measure 3, connect all that. Remember, on a slur, and these are slurs, not phrases, on a slur you don't always lift up before and after a slur. You have to take it according to what the music needs. And in my mind, this should all be connected. Here. And then if you want to lift up because of the phrase at the end of the line, like taking a breath, do that. So I would connect the second line together, all. Then lift up. Connect all this. And then you can go back to the slur. You're doing it again. Measure 9 and 10, connect all that together. Then lift up. Again, measures 11 and 12, I connect all that together so the phrase stays together. Otherwise, the slurs at the ba-da-da, ba-da-da, it helps for the wind and all that too. Of course, the pedal covers it up, but you still go through the motion. You feel it, whether you hear it or not. So put in the articulation. Really, all you get is slurs, and I added phrases, so the musical sentences. Then the dynamics. Well, at the beginning, it's soft. Whatever you think soft is. Piano means soft. And then measure 3, it's moderately loud. MF, mezzo forte. See, it doesn't matter where it applies to the melody. And that's, keep this left hand soft. Except when left hand gets melody, it's got to sound the same as the right hand. Measure 7, you're soft, and with both hands, there's no melody here, so it's both hands the same. And then you're going to crescendo up to loud and measure 8. Start it soft, and with each beat get a little louder. Soft, moderately loud, loud. So each beat got a little louder. Here. And then measure 9, you go back to moderately loud and soft in the left hand. And then the last line, measure 13, it's moderately loud. This is both hands, there's no melody, it's both hands. And then stay moderately loud up here. And you have the hairpin to go back down, so the next one's going to be moderately soft, and then soft. So I'm doing it like a group at a time. So it's moderately loud, moderately soft, soft. You don't get soft too soon. And there's a retardando there, you don't slow down. Well, how fast does it go? It says moderately fast, sort of fast. Well, it's a feeling. I don't know what sort of fast. To me, that's fine. If you want to go a little faster, I Well, you started getting in the fast range. But then at the end, you'd slow down. You just slow down as you go. That's fine. Now they have a note at the bottom of page 17 to transpose this to G pentascale. Well, you're only using the notes in the pentascales. So if you just go to G pentascale, which is here, a whole note down, or a whole step down, you're just using the same fingers. You forget about the sharps and all the accidentals in here, because those apply to A major. When you go to another key, you're just playing the fingers and this pentascale, and they're all white keys, so you're just going to do that. So you can play it all in G if you wanted to. I could play it in C major. Just use the same fingers. Sound good, but I'll play it somewhere around. You can transpose it to other keys if you want to try that. Now they've added pedal. Well, if you're going to use pedal, please try and understand why you're using the pedal. Don't just use it because the music said to. Here, apparently they want everything all washed together. It's part of the atmosphere of the piece. Because you put the pedal down at the beginning and you hold it down until the very end. And at the beginning you would push it down right after you play the note. After you play the note, I want to start the sound first. Okay, this is soft. And at the end, the pedal comes up with the hands. It's up to you. I like it without pedal, but okay if you want pedal. One way of playing it, but you get into it and you interpret and you feel the music. If you don't want to go that fast, that's fine, slow it down. It depends on how fast you want your leaves to whirl around or whatever, I guess. I'm not showing the pedal because all they do is push it down at the beginning and lift it at the end. Okay, let's play this together very slowly and double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the pedaling because you can hear the notes better without it. I'm not going to do any dynamics because all we're doing is checking notes and rhythms. We're not performing it. So I'll give us 4 counts and let's do it very slowly together. 1 and 2 and ready and go and 1. And 4 and 2 tie 2 3 4 off.